floor is yours.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Professor Beebe. Today I'll be giving you a presentation on the history of some of the most popular precious metals. Without further ado, let's begin.
Please. Sorry. Now that we go.
Some of the metals we'll be talking about are bronze, which is a metal alloy, a mixture of copper and tin, and is commonly used for weapons and tools. Iron, which is a transition metal, and is also commonly used for weapons and tools. Gold, a transition metal, which is mainly for monetary and economical uses, and silver, which is another transition metal and is also mainly for monetary and economical uses. Let's dive into the history. Bronze was first conceived by the Mesopotamians around the year 3500 BCE. It is a mixture of about 88% copper and 12% tin. And so what you do is that you take copper and tin, you'd melt them, and then you'd mix them, and then you get the metal alloy that has bronze. And bronze is a soft metal alloy, and since these two have low melting points, that's what makes that happen. And since it's a soft metal alloy, it's easy to mold, and the weapons like this one here. And the Bronze Age, which is a historical era, lasted from 3300 to 1200 BCE. This is what the world looked like during that time, and ended with what historians call the Bronze Age collapse. It is called Ace in Latin and Chronoxos in ancient Greek. Iron is also is a transition metal, which is an element found in groups 3 through 12 on the periodic table. Iron weapons were first created in the 12th century BCE in Mesopotamia, and they were stronger than the existing bronze weapons because bronze is a metal alloy. It's made of two metals, which means you have to control territory to have both of them, because you're not just going to dig a hole and find copper and tin next to each other. You have to control territory for that, which many city-states do not have. However, iron, you just dig, you find it, and you melt it. It's easier. And also, since it's one metal, bronze is two, it's physically stronger. So on rare occasions, you can hit a bronze weapon with an iron weapon, and the bronze weapon would shatter like glass. And in the 8th century BCE, iron weapons became more widespread, like this one here, and the Neo-Assyrian Empire used iron weapons which were superior to the bronze weapons of their enemies. And many people put the end of the Iron Age around the year 550 BCE, and it's called Ferrum in Latin and Sideros in ancient Greek. Gold is, like iron, a transition metal and has been used as currency for more than 6,000 years, or starting from around 4000 BCE. Now, the Egyptians were the first ones to use gold, and this is a map of the Old Kingdom of Egypt. This is the Old Kingdom of Egypt. And one of the greatest examples of how the Egyptians used gold apart from money, currency, is in 1922, British archaeologists excavated King Tut's tomb, and it was found with loads of gold. That's because back then, Egyptians believed that you could take stuff with you to the afterlife, so many of them were prepared. In ancient and medieval times, gold was minted in the coins and was traded through the Silk Road. The Silk Road was a trade route between Europe and Asia. However, it ended after the Mongols because there was no unified state, and following the death of Kublai Khan, it broke up. There's 4 different states, there were robbers, it became more dangerous, so people started looking for maritime routes. And during this time, West Africa was the leader in producing gold, and in specific, the Mali Empire. One of their rulers, Mansa Musa, is considered the richest person in history because he had a lot of gold, through trade, war, otherwise. And in his writings, Marco Polo called Japan Zipanju, or Land of Gold. This is what drove explorers like Christopher Columbus to find a new sea route. And Christopher Columbus wanted to go west to reach Japan, which in turn led to the discovery of the Americas. And during the Age of Discovery, Spain accumulated the most gold, This is what Spain looked like at its height during that time. They're in the Union of Portugal, and since they had so much territory, there were a lot of opportunities for mines and stuff like that. And people came to the New World, or the Americas, for the 3 Gs. Gold for material wealth, glory for the king, and God to convert the natives to Christianity. In modern times, in sports, gold has been used for first place medals and trophies. However, it is very expensive because of its rarity, which means it's hard to find. And 1 ounce of gold costs nearly $2,000. It's called aurum in Latin, which means glowing dawn, and Chrysos in ancient Greek, which reminds me of King Croesus, who was the king of Lydia. He had a lot of gold and was considered the richest person of that time. However, his kingdom fell to the Persians under Cyrus the Great. Silver is a transition metal like iron and gold and has been valued as currency for over 6,000 years. And the Mesopotamians were the first ones to use silver. They would mint it in the coins. And Alexander the Great's empire accumulated the most silver during the ancient era. He had thousands of tons of silver because he defeated the Persian Empire in the year 330 BCE, and he got all the treasures of the treasury, which made his empire very rich. During the Age of Discovery, the country Argentina's name was created and is derived from argentum, which is Latin for silver, because the natives of that area gave the shipwrecked conquistadors silver gifts. Conquistadors means conqueror. In the Bolivian town of Potosi, and this is the Bolivian state of Potosi, there is a silver mine started by the Spanish back in 1545. That mine alone supplied 20% of the Spanish Empire's silver. It's still operating today. In modern times, silver has been used for second place trophies and medals, but has also been used in electronics and glass, among others. However, it's also expensive. However, 1 ounce of silver only costs about $25. It's called argentum in Latin, which means white or shiny, and is derived from argos, the Greek word for silver. This is my conclusion. Bronze and iron were important materials used in the ancient world for the security of city-states and empires. And gold and silver helped fuel the ancient discovery. The lust for wealth led the Europeans to colonize the New World. And now I'll be accepting any questions. Does anybody have any questions about anything about history?